What is going on, everybody? I hope you were all doing well, and I want to welcome you to my first video of 2026. I hope you all enjoyed the New Year celebrations and festivities. So for today's video topic, sticking with the topic of New Year's, I want to talk about a tricky problem that a lot of people come across with their New Year's goals and resolutions. And not only that, but how to overcome that problem. And that problem is that a lot of people, including myself in the past, create these huge goals and expectations that they expect themselves to reach like that. They expect to reach what they want to achieve in such a short period of time. And a lot of times, those goals and resolutions that people set up are not only pretty unrealistic, but also unrealistic in the time frame that they give themselves. For example, somebody might set up a goal that they say, I need to achieve this by January 15th, when in reality, that goal is going to take till at least May or June to attain. I'll give you a personal example. Back in my competitive days of playing ice hockey, I remember saying to myself, I need to master the art of the slap shot in a few weeks. I want to get it done in a few weeks. And just like everything else with hockey, I was working at it every single day. I was in my garage. I was in my driveway. I was on the ice trying to master the craft. And let me tell you something. I did not even come close to mastering the slap shot in a matter of a few weeks. That was a pretty unrealistic expectation that I placed on myself. And frankly, I don't think I ever truly mastered the slap shot. I don't think I could ever do it flawlessly countless times, but I really did improve at it and eventually was able to take slap shots. And instead of the few weeks that I thought I would get it done in, it took me about 6 months. 6 months of getting coached on how to do it. 6 months in my driveway. 6 months on the ice. 6 months watching it on YouTube and other social media sites on how to perform the shot correctly. And also, not only was my initial timeline so unrealistic to achieve that goal, but also, as time went on and I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted to see in my expected time frame, I got very down on myself and I lost a lot of confidence in myself. And the low self-confidence from setting that unrealistic expectation and that unrealistic time frame showed in my practices and my games. In drills and games, I would be taking slap shots and they would be muffins. That's a hockey lingo, by the way. A muffin is a weak shot. They would be muffins and I would slam my stick. I would get so upset. And there were times where I actually wanted to just leave the ice because I was just so in my own head. So setting those unrealistic expectations has a negative domino effect. You set the unrealistic expectation and the unrealistic goal. You work at it. It doesn't go the way that you want it to go. You lose your self-confidence and you start to lose your motivation. And it gets to a point where you potentially even quit and stop what you're doing. I never quit hockey because of that slap shot thing, but I'm just trying to make a point. So now, going off of what the problem is, here's how to solve and fix the problem. When you make a goal, a resolution, yes, make that plan. That's great that you have that ambition. But implement milestones that you want to achieve along the way. And what I mean by milestones are milestones of improvement. Because remember, you cannot achieve success without improvement. You need that improvement, that inclination to reach that success. So develop multiple milestones of, I want to get better at this, then I'm going to get better at this, then I'm going to work at this, and so on and so forth. Another reason why it's so important to do that, to implement those milestones, is because it gives you stuff to celebrate as you're trying to achieve your goal. And when you achieve those milestones, it's going to give you that motivation to keep going. If you never implement milestones and all you focus on is that desired goal, that desired success, the longer that you don't achieve it, the worse you're gonna feel, which can deter your motivation and slow you down. Celebrate the little successes along the way. They're so important and it's so good for your overall well-being. And another thing I want to say too is you will achieve your desired improvements and success in the timeline that you were meant to. And remember, it's a marathon. It is not a sprint. The faster you try to go, you're just going to keep tripping over yourself and getting more frustrated. And show yourself that love and that grace along the way. Doing so increases our motivation and our persistence to get through both the good and the bad times on the way to the goal. So I hope that what I talked about today gave clarity into a common problem with setting New Year's resolutions and goals, and also how to solve that problem and decrease the likelihood of giving up on them. Thank you for tuning into this video, and stay tuned for my next one.